In 1922, archaeologists stumbled upon something that would rewrite human history. A massive civilization, home to 5 million people, with advanced cities featuring underground sewage systems that wouldn't be matched for another 3,000 years. But here's the detail that keeps historians awake at night. They vanished. Completely. No mass graves, no signs of war, no farewell message. Just gone. And what they left behind is more terrifying than any ancient mystery you've ever heard. By the end of this video, you'll understand why this might be the most important warning from the past that we're still ignoring today. Let me take you back to 1922. A British archaeologist named John Marshall is digging in modern-day Pakistan. He's expecting to find, I don't know, maybe some old pottery. Instead, he uncovers Mohenjo-Daro, one of the world's first major cities. But this wasn't just any ancient city. This was something that simply shouldn't have existed 4,500 years ago. While Stonehenge was being built with massive rocks, the people of the Indus Valley had multi-story buildings complete with private bathrooms, sophisticated underground drainage systems, and standardized bricks that point to meticulous city planning. They had public baths that rivaled Roman engineering and used weights and measures so precise they would make modern manufacturers jealous. And here's where it gets really weird. They had a written language composed of over 400 distinct symbols found on thousands of artifacts, but no one can read it. Not with supercomputers, not with advanced AI, nothing. But that's not even the strangest part about the Indus Valley people. Every ancient civilization we know of followed a predictable pattern. Egypt had its pharaohs, Mesopotamia had its kings. They all built grand temples, lavish palaces, and towering monuments to their rulers. They glorified war, practiced slavery, and loved to show off their power and wealth. The Indus Valley? They did none of that. There are no palaces, no identifiable temples, and no monuments to powerful kings. Archaeologists have found no evidence of a distinct ruling class, no caches of weapons for war, and no signs of slavery. It's as if they collectively said, "You know what? We're going to try something completely different." Their cities were laid out like modern suburbs, with houses of similar sizes. Everyone had access to clean water and sanitation. Instead of treasure hoarded by elites, archaeologists found children's toys, board games, and beautiful jewelry. And they were thriving. They maintained trade networks with Mesopotamia over 1,500 miles away. Their economy was booming, supporting 5 million people across an area larger than ancient Egypt and Mesopotamia combined. So what happened to them? Here's what we know. Around 1900 BCE, something changed. People began abandoning the cities, not all at once, but gradually, as if they were leaving a sinking ship in slow motion. By 1300 BCE, the great cities were ghost towns. The sophisticated culture was gone. The writing was forgotten. The advanced urban planning was abandoned. The population scattered into small villages, and the civilization that had lasted for 700 years just evaporated. Now this is where it gets really interesting, because there are 5 main theories and none of them fully explain what happened. The old theory was simple. Aryan horsemen from the north invaded and destroyed them. British colonizers loved this theory because it conveniently justified their own invasions. But there's one tiny problem. There's no evidence of invasion. No mass graves. No burnt cities, no fields of weapons. This theory is basically dead. Here's where it gets serious. Around 2000 BCE, the monsoon patterns shifted dramatically. The rivers they depended on, their very lifelines, started drying up. The mighty Saraswati River, a source of life and prosperity, completely disappeared. Imagine if the Mississippi River just vanished tomorrow. That's what happened to them. Crops failed, and trade networks collapsed. But here's the thing. They had centuries to adapt. These were brilliant engineers. Why didn't they migrate together? Why did their entire culture dissolve? Climate change explains the what, but not the how or the why. The region also sits on major geological fault lines. Evidence shows that multiple massive earthquakes hit the area, causing rivers to change course and cities to flood. But again, earthquakes don't erase a civilization's culture. People rebuild. They remember. The Indus Valley people? It's as if they forgot everything, even their own writing system. Some skeletons do show signs of disease. Dense, crowded cities are perfect breeding grounds for epidemics. So maybe a deadly plague swept through. But plagues don't last for centuries. And there simply isn't enough evidence of mass death to support this. The cities weren't full of bodies. They were just empty. This brings us to the theory that actually makes sense, and it's terrifying. It's called the systems collapse theory. The Indus Valley was a complex, highly interconnected system. When the climate shifted and the rivers changed, it triggered a fatal cascade. Agriculture declined. Trade routes broke down. The cities could no longer support their populations. Skilled craftspeople lost their markets. Writing became useless without organized trade. Central organization dissolved and people migrated away into small, scattered farming villages. It wasn't one single catastrophe. It was 1,000 small failures that fed into each other. The civilization didn't die in a bang. It died in a whisper. And here's why that should terrify you. Let me connect the dots for you. We live in the most complex, interconnected civilization in human history. Just like the Indus Valley, we depend on climate stability for agriculture, complex trade networks, specialized labor, advanced infrastructure, and written knowledge systems. Now look at what's happening around us. Climate patterns are shifting, rivers are drying up, and our global supply chains are proving to be incredibly fragile. We're experiencing what they experienced, but faster and on a global scale. The Indus Valley civilization took 600 years to collapse. They had time to see it coming. They were brilliant people, and they still couldn't stop it. Why? Because complex systems are fragile. When everything works, it works beautifully. But when one piece fails, the whole thing can unravel. They had 5 million people, we have 8 billion. They had regional trade, we have global trade. They depended on rivers. We depend on the entire planet's climate. Their collapse was localized, ours risks being worldwide. The Indus Valley disappeared because they couldn't adapt fast enough when their environment changed. They were too specialized, too dependent on a specific set of conditions. But here's the crucial difference. We know what happened to them. We can see the warning signs. We have the technology and knowledge to adapt. The question is, will we? The Indus Valley civilization didn't leave us pyramids or palaces. They left us something far more valuable, a warning carved into history itself. They were advanced, they were peaceful, they were organized, and they vanished because they didn't adapt when their world changed. We are the most advanced civilization to ever exist, but we are facing the same test they failed. The Indus Valley people couldn't read their own future. We can. The question is, are we paying attention? What do you think caused their collapse? Drop your theories in the comments. And if this made you think, share it, because this is a conversation we all need to be having. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more journeys into the mysteries of our past.